Hello, welcome to this short somatic movement practice. So, somatic movement, like yoga, is a mindfulness exercise, and soma actually means body. We have to realize, however, that in these mindfulness exercises, that it is not just the physical body that we are paying attention to, but we also need to think about our mental body, our thoughts, and our emotional body, our feelings. So, in this practice, I want you to pay particular attention to how some of the movement practices might influence both your mind and your emotions, as well as your physical body. Welcome to class. We are going to do this practice standing. So, you can find your way onto your mat, or you can actually do this off of the mat. Mat's not necessary for this practice. We are going to start by shifting our body weights from one side to the other. And I want you to bring your hands into the practice. And you could also guide your head by watching the hands move. So just beginning to move the spine, the shoulders, the head. And then connecting into the bottoms of your feet. Shifting body weights. Breathing. And then noticing any thoughts that might arise in this practice, any emotions that might arise, paying attention to the hands. Okay. So touching is actually a very powerful somatic practice. So we're going to begin to just energize the hands by rubbing them together and taking some deep, deep breaths. Creating a little friction between the hands, little warmth. And then we're going to place these hands over your eyes. So the palm of the hand can come to rest gently on the eye, cupping the orbits, and then just letting your fingers drape over the skull. Feeling into your feet. Notice if you have any emotions arising, breathing. And then we're going to bring the hands to touch on the ears. And you can give yourself a little ear massage. You could pull on the ears, noticing the physical sensations. And then bringing your hands down, you could touch the sides of your body, and you could touch your legs. So just rubbing up and down, firm pressure, just noticing that touch and that how that influences your body. Touch is very powerful because it releases hormone oxytocin, which is actually a feel-good hormone. And then bringing yourself up, and you could touch your waist. You could touch your arms. And then we're just going to be beginning to brush. And so brushing just removes stuff. Just brushing the body, removing anything that you no longer need, brushing the body, breathing nice and deep. Okay. So we're going to bring the movement into the pelvis. We're going to start circling the pelvis around. And so you can Shift your body weight to the side, to the front, to the back, and just circle the pelvis. This is actually a really good core exercise because it actually activates these core muscles that actually exist all the way around. If you can take your hands and you can circle them around as well, going in the same direction as your hips. And then we're going to go the other way. Breathing. Okay, bringing your back to center. We're going to take a little hip bump. So side to side, just let your hips go side to side. Sensing your waist. And then maybe some front to back, so pelvic tilts, front to back. And this is actually a really good core exercise because it engages like the low belly, which helps to stabilize your low back. So there should be no pain in the low back as you move your pelvis front to back. And then we're going to bring a little energy into the shoulders. And so we're going to roll the shoulders. So let's take them up and back and around. Up and back and around. And you could take them the other way. We're going to do some chest isolations. So the goal here maybe is to stabilize the pelvis, the lower half of the body. You could take your arms out and then just take your chest side, side. Maybe the tendency is going to want to do your hips too, but see if you can just isolate the chest. So reaching out one direction, reaching back in the other. You could look. You might even turn your forearm, palms, and look. Look, reaching with the hands, chest isolations. Now notice I'm going side to side, but I can also take my chest isolations front to back. So I can move my shoulders and my whole sternum. I could stick my chest, my breastbone forward, opening up the front of my body, opening up the back of your body. So what does it feel like to open up? With any emotional sensations, with opening your heart, closing your heart, opening your heart, closing your heart. And then we're going to shimmy. So shimmy is actually a really good releaser of tension, physical tension, but maybe even emotional tension. So see if you can get your shimmy in your upper body and then maybe even in your lower body. So just moving and allowing the connective tissue to loosen up a little bit. And if you feel maybe pain in your ribs and your diaphragm, that is completely normal. But what I've discovered is if I do this on a regular basis, then the shimmy actually allows me to loosen up a little bit more in my ribs and my diaphragm. So it makes breathing more easy for me. The shimmy. Okay, the last practice that we're going to do is the shake, or sometimes I call this the bone dance. So we're just going to become like rag dolls, and we're just going to move the skeleton, bending my knees gently, and letting myself just bounce, spring-loaded. This should not be painful, so if you're doing maybe it too vigorously, you could make it smaller. So this is shaking, and shaking is a really good way if you are upset and you want to release that. that emotion of whatever happened, shaking is a good way to get that to move in your body. And maybe just even gentle into the head. You don't want to shake your head too vigorously, but just a gentle shake. So these are some somatic movement practices that you can do that not only affect, you might find them influencing your emotional body and your mental body. Thank you for joining me today.